Welcome back everyone to this new lecture on joins. In last video we have seen the concept of set operators, and from this lecture onwards we are going to cover the concept of joins, and specifically in this video we are going to see what is an inner join. But before we get started, let me give you a high level overview on what are joins actually. So we have seen in the previous lecture that how set operator helps us to join two different tables on top of each other vertically in order to create a new table. Similarly, joins helps us to concatenate two different tables, but instead of vertically, it concatenates them horizontally. And this is the core strength of joins. Remember that you don't have to retain all the columns from these two columns that you are joining. Within the join syntax, you can mention that which specific columns you want to retain in the new table that you are creating with the help of join. Going forward, we will also see how to do that practically. But before we move into PG admin, let's try to have an intuitive understanding on inner joins. So let's say we have two different tables over here. The first is planned table and the second one is purchased. These are the list of things that I plan to buy from the supermarket. On the other hand, these are the list of things that I ended up purchasing in the supermarket. If you pay attention, I could not buy everything that I planned to buy over here due to some reason. Maybe it was not available or I could not get a quality product. Hence, I ended up buying all these things. If you observe carefully, I have also bought few things that I had already planned, like milk, tofu and bread. Banana and yogurt is something new that I did not plan to buy, but still I ended up purchasing those. We can also represent these two tables in this way, planned and purchased, where these two items belongs to the planned table but it does not belongs to the purchase table. On the other hand, these two items belongs to the purchase table but not from the planned table. And finally, in the intersection area, we have all those items that we also planned to buy and we ended up purchasing those as well. So in a situation of two given tables, if you want to fetch all the records that falls within this intersection area of two given tables, over there inner join comes into the picture. And this is the correct syntax of using it. So you say select everything from table A, inner join table B on the column from table A should be equals to the column from table B. This syntax will make more sense to you once we try to execute it on PG admin. So let's go ahead and move into the PG admin tool. So I am on my PG admin tool, and if I expand this databases, this practice database is the one where we have restored the DVD rental database. If I expand the schemas and look into the tables, we will get to see two tables, which is customer and payment. Let's try to look into the columns for these. So I'll expand customer and then I'll look into the columns. Similarly, I'll expand payment and then I'll look into the column. If you observe the columns for both the tables carefully, you will find that customer ID is the common column in both the tables, which we are going to use for our inner join. So I'm going to open the query tool and over here we are going to perform the inner join. So exactly what we discussed earlier regarding the syntax, I have it over here. So select everything from A, which is our customer table. I'll replace this over here as well. And then we will say inner join table B, which is the payment table. And I want to apply this inner join on the matching columns from both the tables. So it should be, I'll change this to payment first. Okay. And I'll change it to, if you remember, customer ID is the only column which is matching in both the tables. So I'll change it to customer ID. Same goes over here as well. And it is ready to go. So if I'll select and execute it, it should give me an output concatenating both the tables horizontally. So this new table contains all the columns from the two different tables that we tried to merge horizontally. However, not necessarily you need to retain all the columns. You can also retain the columns that you actually need. So let's say in the final table, I want to retain only three columns, which is customer ID, staff ID, and the amount for which the transaction was made. So all I need to do is I'll replace this star, which is a way of telling SQL that I want all the columns, and I'll replace it with these three columns. If you pay attention, specifically for customer ID column, I am also mentioning the table name from which I want to retain this column. because this column name is common in both the tables. So if you don't mention the table name over here, then the SQL will throw you an error. So if I'll select and hit execute for this query, then I'll get a new table containing the 3 desired column that I wanted to retain. So that is all about today's lecture. I hope the idea on inner join is pretty much clear to you. Only going by the theory or watching a video is not going to be sufficient for your efficient learning. So I highly emphasize to do some hands-on practicing and try to join multiple tables from the DVD rental database using this inner join clause, and then you will start feeling very much confident about joining 2 tables using inner join. If you found this video helpful, please consider dropping a like below and subscribing to the channel, and we will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you very much.